Okay. For architect Ryuji Fujimura, the time is yours, please.
Thank you very much for your introduction. My name is Ryuji Fujimura. I'm honored to be here. So let me share the screen and start my talk. You see the screen?
Yes.
So my talk is about architecture as a form of knowledge. My name is Ryuji Fujimura. I am teaching at Tokyo University of the Arts, and I am a principal architect, RFA 2. To design a complexity, I would like to start the image of this. This is the image of the integration process of starting from a simple volume, and they end up with very complex form at the end. Then I would like to design architecture as like this. Then in 2014, I published a book called Prototyping. Then I basically I showed my method in this book. And in 2018, I published another book. It's about the form of knowledge and a series of my trials through designing architectures. Then I made an exhibition, this form of knowledge too. Then in 1964, there is a publication called The Note on Synthesis of Form by Christopher Alexander in 1964. Then it's about, it says the ultimate object of design is form, he said, and the form is solution to the problem, and the context defines the problem, he said. Then, so in the diagram, we draw like this. Then there is a context defines problem. Then there is a form. This is the solution to the problem too. Then he said, design is to achieve good fitness between form and context. Then this is his diagram too. Then in actual world, there is a context and they define each other. Then, but in design process, we have to make a mental picture, and in order to design a complex form, we need to have another phase, which is about form a picture of mental picture. Then he showed this method. Then, but my question was, this good fitness between context and the form, but in this current society, the context is quite unreadable, or it's invisible. Then how can we find this good fitness relationship between context and form? That was my start point. Then my trial was started with this open design processes. In 2005, this is the small shop design project. Then I designed this small facility, a small model. Then this is starting point. Then I made a short dialogue with client. Then she said, this is okay, but she want to have more distance between the spaces. Then I made this, then show this to her. Then she gave another comment. This is good, but divided. Then this is what, and this is good. Then we should better to have another catch a rhythm. Then I is a kind of iterative study. Then find a form step by step, incrementally. Then finally this final version, realize that. Then this is the plan. Then we found a problem. Then the shop has to be open, but not too much open. Then this shows several kinds of tableware group and make customers stay longer. And that was the problem. But this problem was invisible at the beginning. Client didn't know, we didn't know. Finally, at the end of the process, design process, we have to know the problem. So the form and context make a good fitness at the end, but it's not unclear at the beginning. That was a problem. That was a point. Then I put these three steps, three rules by ourselves. Do not jump, do not split, and do not go back. Then we utilize this method into a bigger project called, which is a building. But the client doesn't know what they want to do at the beginning. Then we start from this simple volume, then try to find a problem and try to what to do, what we should do in the site by making those models. Then we found out what we should do in this project step by step. And at the end of the process, this is the real one. Then this housing project, the building project, is basically housing. Then at the bottom there is a supermarket. Then housing is on the bottom of the supermarket. Then this is the construction picture. Then this fifth floor is kind of major structure. Then the second floor and the third floor and the fourth floor is hanging down from this fifth floor. Then this is the inside. So this is the hanging down. This floor is hanging down from upper floors. So at the bottom there is no column, so quite open space. Then this is section. Then by taking this structure system, we could reduce the columns at the bottom, and we could have an open space at the bottom. And also many equipment of the housings are concentrated on this structure columns. Then this is the rooftop of the building. Then this is a public complex. Then this is the equipment spaces then many machineries are concentrated on this part. So through this design process, this is the whole design process, starting from simple volume and develop one step by step, and reach to the complex conclusion in the end. In the middle part, then there is a quite simple taking one question and one solution. So in 008, there is a question about how to put housing on the supermarket. Then simply put the housing volume at the beginning, but there it looked like too much simple. Then we decided to divide the volume of the top floor, then make this new version 009. Then to make this 009 version, we found another problem, which is too much to the street. Then make like this, and so on and so on. Then so each step has a simple question. Then we simplify the question, then make a simple solution, and repeat. Then iteratively we make a version. And this is the relationship between the generation of forms and the condition of. Then starting from very simple volume at the beginning, then at the end, it will be it became a quite complex form under 21 rules we set. So this is the another diagram, and we start from this kind of input, many inputs, then with many requirements like and area and use and temperature and structure and taste and so on and so on. Then we integrate them and make output. Then in general, we imagine design processes like this, and make an analysis and integration and make a. Then, but nowadays this analysis process is quite visual, because computer information technology makes them visual. Like structural problem, we could have structure simulation. The temperature, that we have temperature simulation, and so on and so on. But this integration process is quite opaque still. So we need to open up this integration process after that. Then my proposal is simply to have one solution to one question, then iterative this. Then by doing this, this integration process kind of open up and make it visual. Then we call this a superlinear design process. Then super linear design process is totally about induction process. So make something first, and think and find a problem later, then make it repeat. And this is Kento Tange's study process of the National Swimming Pool in 1964. Then Tange also did this kind of making process, collective making process. Then he made many versions with students, integrate them, they then achieve the final version at the end. And this is another case by Sana, they made another many model at the beginning too. Then they made a version and think something and find something, then make it make it sharper later. So is like this. So basically, simply iterative one way, then make it like a timeline. Understand the whole process as a line of time, and or line metaphor of line or metaphor of time. Yeah, at the end. So by taking this process, this blank one is very generic building with general design process. Then our building is designed with a superlinear design process. So this difference was quite important for me. Then this is very generic. Then, but by taking this process, so the rooftop can be taken as a human space, not machinery space. Then, by taking this kind of process, we could make a difference between buildings and then my next trial is to utilize this method to the education. This is a first pattern. This is an evolutional process of single option. Then this is a pattern, evolutional processes of several options. Then I understand this studio work of architecture as like this. Then I started to teach at the university from 2010, 10 years ago. Then I utilized this design process method to the educational process in order to make students understandable how to design or how good design is made, by comparing the process. So this is the scenery of the view. Then we did not review only about the result, but also processes. They make by themselves, not only teacher. Then think about we could how to develop complexity at the end. Then I utilize this method to the real project of the real site in the with university student in next phase. So this is second pattern. Then the third pattern is in order to realize something is like this. Starting from many options, but select or integrate and integrate several options, and at the end we integrate one version. Then in order to build something. Then this project facility for ecological education in Tsuruga. Then I made this studio. Then our government wants to have a small facility with a private enterprises, private company. Then we started with this public meeting with the neighbors and many people from the private companies and the governments, and make this public meeting. And starting from 10 students participate this project, and they made one version, then make this kind of explanation in this public meeting, and they vote. And this is first vote. Then this is second vote. Then so people choose different version by taking steps. Then this is first prize at second meeting. And then the reason was like the compact impact of this form or new impression of this form. But the second prize with 11 points, they said like they liked the elements related elements entrance with terrace or benches or angle with the sun or so on and so on. Then so the point was, no, this is not selection by voting. We vote, but we asked to vote to the people, but this is not selection. We need to know the reason why they choose one of them. Then, so then after several voting, public meeting, we integrate common having common element like this. Then this is station type. Then this is church type. This is alley type. Then like this. Then made another voting. Then they many people vote on station type, but we did not this station type as a winner. But also we asked people why they choose this, why they choose the second one, or why they choose the third one, and so on and so on. Then we tried to find out the reason why they choose. Then this is another. Then this is the prices, estimated prices. Quite over the budget. Then we made another in order to reduce the elements they wanted to have. Then finally we could integrate to this final version, but the size of the building made very small in order to fit the budgets. But the element they all liked was integrated in this final version. So this is small, but many ideas of 10 architects are all integrated into this final version. So this is the ideas by people, by everyone. So this is not a simple idea or ideas of one people, but this is ideas by everyone. Then make a process exhibition and make a symposium discussions. Then this is the this is the kind of ceremony of the construction site, and then this is the other one. Then now it is used as a kind of ecological for ecological. Besides this solar energy plant. And this is another project in order to make a small public space in the suburbs of Tokyo too. Then starting from this kind of public meeting with local people, then the local government wants to have a small toilet and plaza in the front of station. Then we start to make several versions of this. Then start discussion. They want to have bench. They want to have a wall in order to divide a toilet. Then they want to have a roof in order to symbolize them. Then they want to have a roof as a plaza. Then this is the later process, and finally this was built. Then it is a public toilet and station for bicycle. Then, but the rooftop is open to the public. And this is the inside of the building. And then there's a staircase, and go up, and there is a plaza like this. And then this is a scenery of the plaza after that. Then my trial is continuing, like how can we expand the inputs of the people. Then it's IG project. Then this is a kind of art project. Then this is about this is a art project, art festival in Aichi Prefecture. Then this is a kind of virtual project I propose. Then we made a student team and present people to two versions of a city hall project, which is not a real project, which is a kind of virtual project. And if we rebuild the city hall, which one would you like to have? That we take a question to the people. Then this is the design team is working before the people. Then this is kind of ideal design architectural design office, which is transparent, and the people can watch how they develop the ideas. Then this is the exhibition. Then they vote. They choose two of them every day. Then we open up the votes every day. Then make an analysis between by reading the comments. Then this is the result. Day by day, sometimes this team M we won. Then sometimes team H won, but which is quite not fixed at all. By taking this over 4,000 votes, we found out that normally when we having a workshop, people gather, but 100 people or less than 100 people. So we should find out the difference between 7 votes and 9 votes and so on and so on. But in this case, we had 4,612 votes with comments. So many of them, many of comments went to very homogeneous, looks homogeneous, but some minor opinions quite functional and useful for us, or meaningful for us to develop the design because it's minor. So through this project, we could have this is not on the simple voting or referendum, but also the occasion to hear the minor opinions in order to develop ourselves. Then next trial is to design a chair by taking a picture searching system of the Google. This is called Google Chair. Then this is the kind of trial, experimental project, a chair by Google search. And this is the result of the search, chair in Chinese. Then this is the result of the search by the word chair in English. This is chair in Spanish. This is chair in, and this is chair in Arabic. Then this is chair in Bengali. Then this is chair in Russian, and chairs in Portuguese, and this is chair in Japanese. Then we found out that the difference between the languages, each language is even the major languages, major world languages, having a different result by each languages. Then so each image of the chair, even the same word, having a different image by the languages. Then we analyze the result and make a kind of typological study, then make a prototype of each languages. This is prototype of Chinese. This is a prototype of English, Spanish, Hindi, Arabic, and so on. And Japanese. Then we made integrate 9 major languages chair. Then this is the integrated one as a result of the most of the world, most of the people in the world. We call this global Google chair. Next trial was to design a house by taking this method in order to sell the house in this house. This is the image of the houses. Then we made a kind of analysis, then make a kind of typology like this, the typical Japanese sliding houses. Then integrate this like this. Then this integrated typical suburban house. We made based on the study, we made this prototype by taking the elements they have like this. Then put the price like this. So one developer appeared. They want to build this to their site, and this is the project that we built finally. Then we proposed the gardens continuing like this. Then finally we could sort out all the houses at the end. So this is the this Google's chair project developed with computer calculation and artificial intelligence called deep learning chair. Then we collaborate with this engineer guy, then make a kind of iterative study like this. Then make a data set by taking many versions of each types. Then they GAN they learn and the AI learn the shape of the form of the chairs.
Excuse
me? Like this.
Excuse
then,
me.
At the end, we could have the form like this.
Excuse
and
me.
This is the final. And this is the chair based on the chair the result of image picture search by the Google. So let's say this is the global people's chair, world people chair by artificial intelligence. So we should think about our role or architects' role in the society when we see this model, because we always try to open up our design process in order to make a complex form. But if we totally open up the process by the technology, like this kind of artificial intelligence things as well, then we have this the shape, their form, which is quite, how to say, looks nice, but looks cute, but very much mysterious. It's not symmetrical, it's not geometrical, but there is a form by the result of the learning. Then my trial on architecture is currently achieving to this the form like this. So this is my one of my latest project, which is a this is the nursery school in the suburbs of Kyushu Island. Then we try to design this building very much simple but complex. The shapey but not only the shape. It has a kind of form, but the form itself is not independent. It is a form, but very much dependent to the context, and the form itself works, but not only the form. So this is the plan. And then we decided to divide into two spaces. The one space is for little kids, like 0 years old, 1 year old, 2 years old kids. Then the other one is kids bigger kids, which is like over 30 years or 3 years old. This is interior. Then this is the shape, the shapy form at the end of the at the corner of the building. Then this is inside. There is a hall, and it has this panoramic window at the corner. Then we could have a look of the landscape. This is the design process of the roof of the shape. So the shape itself was generated, and try to find the point they could make it stable. And then this is the construction site. This is for me, it's quite incredible experience, because I could not imagine how the is came and go, because the slit, the window, horizontal window, there is no structure element in this window. So the roof itself is somehow supported without anything. This is stable.
Excuse me, Fujimura sensei.
Because in micro scale, it's like very acrobatic, but in large scale or macro scale, the shape itself is quite stable. So by this form, for me, the interesting point was to find out the shape of the roof, which is designed by this structural analysis. Suddenly looks like quite similar to the shape of the mountain background in the background. This is a kind of coincidence, but not only coincidence, because the shape of the mountain is also the result of the gravity, the Earth, sea activity. Then this the roof of the shape of the roof is also the shape of the reaction to the gravity. So this structural engineer said to me that this is not a coincidence, but this is not an approach to make this roof taking as a model, or taking a mountain as a model and copy the shape. We did not copy the shape. This is this is in that way. This is a coincidence. This is a construction site. Then we made this kind of pieces and make it. Then kids running in the garden. This is a shape. The kids once run or kind of make a dash to the with the car, this curve.
Fujimura sensei.
So to design complexity, until now, we started from gap between context and form. And this is the general design process, but we try to find out another design process which is called self-linear design processes. Then we try to utilize this method to we find out this method within this kind of building design first, and from individual to group, try to utilize this to the educational approach first and try to utilize this method to the public situation, then try to make a real building like this, then with the community, then try to expand the inputs, then try to collaborate with this kind of computer technology right now. So from individual to group, and now and to computation right now. So from now on, I'm trying to utilize this method to more freely in terms of form. This is a small kiosk, tentative kiosk. We made this kiosk like this. And another occasion, this is installation for my exhibition. In order to make people to watch 7 monitors, we try to make this structure in order to make people to walking around the exhibition. This is the details. Then made of the paper, and then made us very thin elements. Then this is the last one. So we try to make it more continuous and make it more discrete in the future. Then this is it. My talk was about architecture as a form of knowledge. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Fujimura Sensei. Arigatou gozaimashita. Okay, very nice presentation. Thank you very much.